Good day, welcome to Lansky's Android Studio channel. Today we are going to discuss how to create a button that responds to click events in Android Studio. So let's begin. Click your Android Studio icon at your MacBook dock, or if you're using a PC, somewhere at your desktop or application folder in your personal computer. So let's start. Click Start Android Studio Project. So for these purposes, we name our project Button Click Demo, and we will just put it in the desktop so we can see it better or easier. And click Next, and let us just use an empty activity. Click Next. Just go with the defaults here. So our activity name is main activity, and we should generate a layout file, and layout name is activity_main. So click Finish. Okay, so we're done here. Our first objective is to put a button inside our layout file. So click the rest folder, which means resources folder. Click the layout folder and double click activity_main.xml. If you have rendering problems, just click N here with the Android icon and choose another API preview. So that will solve our rendering problems. We shall be using this hello world text here. So let's increase the text size. So just use 40 for the text size and drag it a little bit in the center. And let's go to text to see the code. Click text here, the text tab, and let us change hello world here to this is blue. We'll make this a blue text, and then let's change the Android color into blue. So what we need here is the code for, I have prepared here the website where you can put the color codes. So if you need to change the color of, or specify the color of your text or background, you can just use HTML color code. So go to htmlcolorcodes.com, or just Google HTML color codes. There are so many websites specifying the different types of codes for each color. So we get the blue here. Let's go back to our Android Studio and paste. So now we have changed it to blue, as you can see here. So let's click Save All, go back to design, and it's now in blue. So our demo would be using the button to change the color of this text. We will be changing this from blue to red and red to blue. Okay, let's add our button now. Just drag the button here. Okay, and let's increase the text size of the button. Let's make it 20. Okay, and then go to the code So the button here says new button. Let's change this to change color. In order for our click event to work, we need to add the Android onClick here on XML. Android onClick. So onClick, we need to specify a procedure in our main activity.java that would be called upon clicking the button. So let's just put here change color. Although that activity is not yet present, we shall be creating this. Although what I mean is although that procedure is not yet present in our Java file, we shall be creating this procedure inside main activity.java so that it would be called every time this button is clicked. So let's go ahead to our main activity.java. So here we shall be creating another procedure, public void change color. Okay, so this is red because we have not yet imported the android.view.view. So let's import it now. Okay, so after that it's not red anymore. So what should we be creating here is to assign our text view. Let's create a text view variable here because we shall be setting the color for text view. So we should first create a text view variable. So first we should go back to our layout file and name our text view. For it to be called, it should have a name. So let's name it oh sorry, it already has a name here. It's named text view. So let's just modify this one. Let's make it text view hello. So let's change this to, so that's it, it's text view hello. So we go here, and after that we already have a variable for a text view. Inside our code, let's assign this to let's instantiate this. So text view so it's in red because we have not put this in an open close parenthesis. Okay, so that fixes it. Okay, after doing this, I shall be first creating a integer variable here. We shall be using this integer variable later. Let's assign this to a value of 0. Okay, so what we shall gonna be doing here is to create an if statement. If the integer variable num equals to 0, we use double equals here because if single equals, it's an assignment of a value for the variable. But if we check what's the value inside, it should be double equals. Otherwise, if you use just equals, you generate an error. So here we shall have a code here inside, an if code. Let's put an else too. So what we shall be doing is to check if the num is 0. It means let's assign it means that we have not yet changed the color of the text, which we have put the default into blue, so it means it's still a blue. So what we're gonna do is to change it into red. So let's see, let's call our text view dot set text color. So wait, I think it's just like this. So let's put the red. I'm generating an error. Let's check. So let's call Android graphics color here. Okay, so that's it. That's the correct code here. So set text color, and then let's call color.parse color and put the code for that color. So here what we did is to check if the color is still in default, which is in blue. So since the default is in blue, we have assigned integer num to 0 here to as a instantiation of the num variable. So after setting it to red, we now set num to be equal to 1, which would mean here that it's now in red. So if on our else statement, we know that if it's not in blue, or it's not, num is not in 0, num therefore is in 1. So we now set that color to blue. So let's get the code for blue here. So that's it. Let us now test if our button click event, which is changing color, would work. Let's run our code. Just choose any available emulator here. Sorry, I have cold soon. So this is now our current code. So this is correct. This is blue. So let's click now change color. So oh, sorry, we have not we have not changed the text. So let's go back to our code again. So in order to improve our code, we should be setting the text of the text view to inform us what is the new color, what the new color is. So text view that set text. So text here is, this is red, and here just copy this one. Okay, let's not copy, let's just type it. So when you're learning to code, it is best to type it so that you would be familiar with the syntax. So now this is blue. So this is blue because we have changed the code in the color code into blue, and then this one is the color code for the red. So let us test again. Okay, it now works. Look, this is blue. Okay, wait. We have not put the we have an error still. We have changed num to 1 here, and here, since this is now blue, let's change the num back to 0. So num equals 0 here, so that the system would be able to know that it's now blue and should be changed to red. Okay, this should now work. This is blue, this is red, this is blue, this is red, this is blue. Okay, so that's it. So let's not stop there. Let's create a second activity and another button that would take us to the second activity. So let's create a second activity now. Let's use an empty activity. Let's name this second activity. Click next. So we now have a second activity and a layout file, activity underscore second.xml. So let's put a plain text here. Let's put here second activity, so that we will be informed we are now on the second activity. Okay, let's increase the size. Okay, so this shows that we are now in the second activity. On our first activity layout, let's put another button. Set text size to 20. Okay, text should be go to second activity. Okay, so we now have a button that would take us to the second activity. So let's assign a click event, an onClick, that would assign it to a procedure that would go to the second activity. Let's put it here just like what we did earlier. So let's type go to second activity. This procedure is not yet present, but we shall be creating this one. So go to your main and create another procedure here. The name should be exactly the same, so let's just copy this one to ensure that it's exactly the same. Okay. So this is fairly easy. All you have to do is to create an intent. So let's just name your intent as intent. Let's instantiate your intent. This. Second activity dot class. I think that's it. And pass the intent here in the start activity method. Pass the name of the intent. Okay, that's it. I think this would now work. So let's refresh. Our emulator would now load the new code. Oh, so we now have the go to second activity. Oh, click. Okay, we are now in the second activity here. So we can put another button here that would take you to the main activity, or you can just click the back button here on your emulator, which is also present in your phone. For now, we shall not be doing that. We shall just click here and we are back to our first activity. So what we have achieved so far is to create a procedure which would be triggered, or the code which should be processed whenever a button is clicked. So in the first example, we just change the color of the text like this, and our second button would take us to another activity. This second button is very important because when you create an Android code or an Android app, you shall be using a lot of coding that takes you to another screen or to another activity of your Android app. On our next video, we shall be testing how to pass variable from one activity to another. So in this video, we have achieved the way where we can go to another activity, but we shall be improving that in our next video when we're able to pass a variable data from one activity to another. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.